global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Right now, all Riverians, most Nigerians are expectant, waiting patiently the Supreme Court verdict that will determine the political fate of Martin Amaewhule and the 25 lawmakers, others, where of course they are in their camp, they are literally singing and shouting, it will end in praise, joy is coming. And the Fubara scam just a few hours ago, they literally started throwing receipts on social media with video evidence of when Amaewhule and others defected, how they followed the proper proceedings, of course, and also what transpired before all of this, before he got to this level, what Damagom and others said. Check our playlist for full details on that. But right now, Professor Mokocha have decided to tell Nigerians, while we all are waiting for the verdict, that he's taking time to educate Nigerians, a professor in law, educate Nigerians exactly what the law says about the fate of Martin Amaewhule, regardless of any technicalities they will bring on board. And the question now is, will this set of persons who it will not favor, will they buy the idea? Well, that is the law, and that's what Constitution says. So which means he's taking time to tell us what we should expect from Supreme Court, and every other one may be contrary to what the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria says. Taking a case study of Rivers State and the 25 defected lawmakers, quote and unquote. Let's watch him and as he takes us through who they are and what they are expected to do and their fate. We'll come back for more with my colleague.
The legislator has two duties. The first duty is to his constituency. He is elected as ear and eye and mouth of his constituency and government. And if you have to know, when we shout democracy, 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 where democracy really appears, it's in the house. Because that is the only place where the people can inform government policy. We probably look at it as a foreign thing, part of our colonial heritage. But that is not what it is. Each and every one of us can cause a bill to be passed. You can move up to your representative, draw his attention to something critical that needs to be addressed by policy. And because he brings attention to it, he will come up with a bill. If that bill succeeds, you get back to that bill. You are the originator of that bill. So the government is called democracy because the assembly provides for us opportunity to really govern ourselves. So while your first responsibility as a legislator is to your constituency, the second one is to the state. You are present there because your people need to make government understand what about policies that are hurting them, that need to be addressed. You have to speak for them. What about policies that will make life better for them? You need to speak for them. But beyond that, you must work with your colleagues to promote the interest of the state. Now, our experience resident in the last 1 year has thrown up a whole lot of confusing things. And perhaps it's good for us because somehow we are getting to understand the Constitution we have been keeping aside as a book. We are getting forced to understand it now. Participation in politics and in governance is your right. And so when you get elected to the House, you are given opportunity to exercise that right as an official of government. And when you are given that opportunity, you still have opportunity to even change camp if you want. And that's what you must understand the language of Section 109 of the Constitution. It doesn't say we are free to. It condemns changing of political party by a legislator because parties own the seats in the assembly. And so if you leave your party, you have left your seat. And that's what Section 109 says. It, however, creates a section because it can have some peculiar situations. It says where the party has crisis. The courts have helped us to say that crisis means your party is divided from up down and can no longer function as the party it was when it sponsored you. A good example will be the formation of new PDP, which had its own board of trustees, its own end of this year, and the rest of them. from which people moved, a number of governors moved into a new party that later formed. So when a section of a party, a faction of a party joins a new party, that's okay. The Constitution says that's an exception. So if you have to have crisis, it should be crisis of that character. Besides that, you have some peculiar situations where you are a willing member of your party, but your party expels you. The Constitution permits you to remain because you did not take steps to leave your party. Your party removed you. So you can exercise your freedom of association by lapping onto another party or joining another party and you retain your seat. But our experience exposed three critical things. There have been three critical questions that have been raised. I know the Supreme Court will eventually decide, but as citizens we are entitled to discuss and understand our law and our constitution. And so those critical questions are, what if the defectors are so many that the House can no longer reach the podium? Can the House still go on? And I say the answer is yes. Section 102 of the Constitution says that the House shall sit notwithstanding any vacancy. The use of any by the Constitution means any number. It also means any quality of person. So whether Speaker vacates, Deputy Speaker vacates, or all officers vacate, the House, once convened, will continue to function. The only thing they can do is what the law requires that it should do by two-thirds majority, if the number left is not up to two-thirds. But the House can perform its full function until the House gets fully regulated. Then the issue of whether Speaker was present or Speaker was not present, the law says a member vacates his seat if he does this. So you vacate. You are no longer part of what has to happen. Subsection 2 says the remaining members will meet, take cognizance of that fact, and do what is needful, which is calling for by-election. On whether Speaker was present before the Section 95 defines Speaker. Speaker is not a person, it's a role. It says when the House sits, it shall be presided over by the Speaker, or in his absence, the Deputy Speaker. In the absence of the two of them, subsection 2 of that section says such other person, such other member as the members present elect to preside as Speaker for that Speaker is the board. So the Speaker who has left does not have to be present. These are the issues that in the last 1 year we have seen, and they have been defended strongly and discussed in public space. To my shame, because they have changed the Constitution for this. So I do hope, as we move on, legislators will get to understand that their loyalty is to their constituency and to the state, and not to an individual. Of that sake, will not be a defense.
All right, welcome back. We all heard what the prof said, but one thing is certain: this will not sit well with the ProWike group, the supporters of Yusuf Wike, and the 25 defected lawmakers, including Martin Amaewhule. In fact, some of the supporters believe that they never defected, and to them, defection means their name should be in the register. That the video evidence is just technicalities. No one defects by video evidence, and they're so very sure that Supreme Court will give them their mandate, and whatever it is that is going on, both on social media, off social media, whatever constitution some professionals are quoting is just emotional. There's no truth or validity. They are actually basing their argument on technicalities that these guys didn't defect, and video evidence notwithstanding is not strong enough to be called defection. Please, what's your take?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, and but then we have a little idea of legal issues or legal matters. So for me, I think that it's already before the Supreme Court. They will take their position very soon. But if you ask a common man on the street, he will make some very relevant examples, draw up analogies, or about this kind of scenarios. Because if someone makes a statement that is not binding on them, as it has to do this way, we see them in the floor of the House of Assembly. They stayed there and they did not read ordinary write-up. It was their defection notice.
My God.
It was a document. So what the camera captured was not some persons who were just in a parlor, someone's parlor, or in someone's bedroom, or maybe in a drinking parlor, making some statement of defection, whereby it began to go round. It was something very official. And to prove the officiality of it, they sat in the floor of the house. And Martin Amaewhule painstakingly read the 27 defection notices. They got a document from the court to authenticate and to concretize their defection. That alone, for me or any other person, is enough. Imagine, for example, if someone decides to or make a particular statement, which is oftentimes considered to be you're trying to destroy someone's image. You just made a statement. Words should be binding. Talk less of documents. That's my point of view. I'm not trying to, take a position, but that's my point of view. These guys, and it didn't just stop there. At the polio house, they officially received them. The 27 lawmakers were received. Martin Amaewhule was given an opportunity to talk. And Martin Amaewhule said that based on the provision of Section 109 of our Constitution, he has the legitimate right to cross-carpet to the other party, and went further to say that they followed due process and they were received into the party. I know that documents may have been signed, but seeing that unfortunately the party is controlled by wikes, both parties are controlled. They have possibly sent messages they should say of all of that. I'm just presuming, but for someone to officially receive people in, after that reception, documents may have exchanged hands. But then, at the floor of the house, all of them defected. Even the letters that they sent out later on was all a lie. A lie traceable to the fact that on the same 18 that Damagum was supposed to come and meet them, they were received by APC. So what are we saying? This is a situation that leaves one thinking, what if at the end of the day something different come out and tomorrow other people defect and say they did not defect? What will you do? Imagine what happened. Ned Nwoko defected.
Well, there was no issue. There's issues in national.
He was received. And I feel that before there is a formal reception of any person into another political party, that person may have completed everything. So for them to receive them by APC in Polio House, it clearly indicates that they have done all. And Martin Amaewhule, they said, we follow due process to the effect. What are we saying?
Okay, but one more question and probably an analogy. Can we say it's one and the same? A situation where, for instance, with the CCTV camera, you saw maybe a thief, who has successfully stolen, even though you didn't catch him physically. But there's a camera, a video effect, a video evidence showing how he came in, stole successfully and left.
Walked away. And
you take that same video evidence to court or to the police and saying, though the person has successfully gone back home, pretended
you didn't catch him red-handed.
Yes, you didn't catch him red-handed.
But the camera was there.
But the camera caught him, and he comes and says, I didn't do it. That's not
video
me.
evidence. No, this is
video
not
evidence notwithstanding. Did you catch me there?
There.
The video evidence is not enough. The only way you can authenticate on every ground, including technicalities, if you have caught me red-handed, but just with your CCTV camera, it's not enough to label me a thief. Now, with that video evidence, would you say that it's not evident enough?
I mean, that's a very good analogy. So, that one you're even talking about is CCTV camera.
CCTV camera.
This one, TVC, a well-known media house.
Media houses.
Arise TV was there. Channels TV were there. River State, this thing was also there. Individuals also were present when they did this thing. So what are we talking about? I think I don't know the position the Supreme Court would take, but whatever that will come out at the end of the day, it leaves a precedent that possibly may haunt the judiciary for as long as there will be judiciary, and at the same time will serve as an encouragement, whether to better the process of dispensing justice, or it will go an extra mile to frustrate a lot of things. I mean, unfortunately, what we have seen in our country is quite troubling. I pray that there will be people who want to restore back the dignity of our country called Nigeria.
But what's on the whole stuff is not even the defection of, if you notice that Supreme Court verdict, I don't think that particular one, the defection, is actually the bone of contention. But with that as it may, we'll keep our fingers crossed. As soon as information on that comes in, we'll keep you updated. That's gonna wrap it up. Let's meet in our comment section. Let's brainstorm. What's your take?